In today's video, I'm going to be discussing the $7.266 trillion budget just announced by the Biden administration and what it means for you. That's the focus of this video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. All right, so just moments ago, we got this proposed budget out of the Biden administration, and it is coming in at a whopping $7.266 trillion, which, by the way, that is a massive amount of money, and this is his proposed budget. Now, I want to bring you the details as far as what this encompasses and what it may mean for you as far as all of you here in this community that watch the videos here on the channel, as well as the entire country as a whole and everybody else out there that maybe has not discovered this channel quite yet. But this is a massive budget, and he's got a lot of proposals in here. I'm going to break it all down for you really quickly in this video, and then again let you know what it may mean for you. However, if you have not done so yet, make sure to subscribe down below. Totally free to do so. There's the big subscribe button down there. I'm here for you every single day, no matter what, doing all the research, watching the headlines, watching any new information hitting the wire like this, and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay posted on what's actually going on and anything popping up you can possibly grab or take advantage of. So again, thanks for joining me. Truly do appreciate your support. Please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet, and let's talk through this budget. Now, this is actually pretty interesting because it's basically just focusing on everything that he talked about last week in the State of the Union address. Now, if you did not watch the State of the Union address, that's totally fine. In fact, the day of that State of the Union address, I posted a poll here on the channel and asked, hey, how many of you are actually watching this? It was something like, I don't know, 37% or something of people are actually watching it. So not like a huge percentage. About a third of the population, according to that poll that we had here on the channel, actually watched it. But I actually had a little bit of a recap of it the following day, and we discussed the details. But either way, I know that a lot of you here in this community receive some type of fixed income benefit from Social Security and things like this, and you might want to know what is going on and what is within this $7.266 trillion budget for Social Security. Now, here's the thing. The main theme behind this budget, you can read through it if you'd like. It's public information. You can certainly find it online if you'd like to. That's certainly what where I was reading about it. But if you want to look into this, the main theme behind this is basically getting people to pay their fair share. You've heard the president say this a billion times. He loves saying this, pay your fair share, right? So anyway, that's like his little tagline. But anyway, the whole purpose of this budget here is basically finding higher income people or billionaires as well as high income people to pay their fair share as well as corporations. So he wants to raise taxes across the board for virtually basically everybody. Anybody that's considered maybe high income or corporations, he wants to hose these people with taxes and really, really lay it on heavy with these people. So that's kind of one of the main takeaways out of this, okay? So that is kind of his deal behind this. Now, he also wants to strengthen Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, okay? How? Again, through taxation, okay? That's the whole reason behind this. And again, raising taxes on higher income people. Now, what's interesting about this is a couple years ago, he came out with a four-pronged plan to change Social Security, to reform the program, and a few different changes for the program. However, this time, there's not exactly a four-pronged plan laid out. Why would he do such a thing? Or what I should say is, why wouldn't he do such a thing? Probably because he probably knows, hey, it's not going to work anyway, and it's not going to happen, so what's the point of even throwing it out there? But at the end of the day, he wants to make sure that Social Security is not privatized, make sure that Social Security benefits are not cut, and which, by the way, nobody's trying to cut Social Security benefits. That is not a thing. In fact, I talked about it recently in a separate video. If we don't get Social Security or inaction on Social Security, guess what? That is also a cut to benefits. So again, I'm not here to take political sides or anything like that, but I'm just simply saying, if nothing happens to Social Security over the coming years, that alone will cut benefits, okay? Inaction is called cutting benefits. So we want something to happen to Social Security. I'm not sure what that is quite yet as far as what lawmakers are going to do, but we want reform. We certainly want reform. If we don't, we're going to see a massive cut to our benefits in not that many years, and it's going to be rough, okay? Anyway, long story short, the main moral of the budget here is basically the president is throwing out a massive wish list. We're all entitled to a wish list, right? How about the holiday time of year? Do you write a little note to Santa and say, hey, yo, Santa, if you happen to see this, drop a little few things in my stocking, right? Wads of cash. That's all I ever want. But anyway, right? So then, a lot of people want all kinds of things, but here's the thing. If you have all the money that you could ever want and have plenty of it, you really don't need a bunch of stuff, right? You can just buy whatever you want on your own. But My point is, this proposal, just because it's coming in at this over $7.2 trillion and it's a wish list of all the things he wants, remember, it has to go through the congressional process. In other words, it has to be voted on and passed in the House, voted on and passed in the Senate, and then finally brought to his desk for a final signature. The likelihood of most or any of this passing, I'm going to go ahead and say this much, very slim, okay? So this is just a massive wish list. Now, again, do you think there's a little strategy behind why he released this and what he's actually saying in this budget? 100%. What is it? It's all political based on the elections coming up a little bit later this year. And again, I'm never here to take political sides or bash anybody in particular. Sometimes I am, but this time I'm not. My point is, we need to look at this from a strategic standpoint. Do you think a lot of this is maybe, I don't know, playing into the hand of elections later on in November? And again, this is nothing against him or the administration in particular, but everybody does this. They always do this, especially on an election year, right? It's very important. So again, do you think that there's maybe some of the proposals that are in here in the budget to say, look, I proposed and they wouldn't allow it? It's a little, a way to point fingers. Again, just pointing out the reality of what's going on. And again, I've said this before in other videos, I'm a realist. I don't sit here and look at things subjectively. I look at everything very objectively. In other words, just kind of looking at the facts behind everything. And I like to look at everything with a realistic point of view rather than sitting here saying, oh, this is my opinion. Honestly, who cares what my opinion is? You don't care what my opinion is? I don't really care what my opinion is. It doesn't really matter. Let's look at the evidence here and see what this looks like, okay? But anyway, long story short, honestly, the budget, there's a lot of different things that are within there. Mostly, again, the theme is raising taxes on higher income people and implementing a 25% tax on billionaires. That's pretty interesting as well. But again, that's another one that's out there. And again, it's mostly just a recap. From what I'm seeing, which by the way, I watched the entire State of the Union address last week. I watched the entire thing. I listened to every single word that was being said. It's mostly a recap of that. Again, are we surprised? No. Where do you think he got his speech from? Probably from the proposals out of his budget. I mean, seriously, right? What an easy way to do it. You write a paper, you make a speech out of the paper, and then you publish the paper called a budget. There you go. Boom. You just got all these things done, and it kind of knocks out a bunch of different things all at once. So anyway, this is what it comes down to. And again, I'm going to be here for no matter what, watching all the details about this. I want to continue covering this for you. I'm not going to talk about this type of issue, the budget and the elections and all kinds of stuff like that a ton, but I am going to focus on it a little bit going forward because it's going to be pretty important to watch what happens here, because at the end of the day, we need to continue watching this. At the end of the day, what happens here going forward with these elections is a lot. I mean, here's the thing. Anything could happen here, okay? The presidential seat is up for election, as in that could flip or stay the same. We have tons, actually, over 460 seats in Congress right now. All of the House of Representatives seats are up for election, and 33 or 34 seats in the Senate are up for flipping as well. That's massive. That's could see a major, major change in the demographics of Congress as a whole, as well as the presidency. Okay, so this is going to be very important. This election cycle is very, very important. And at the end of the day, it's all going to impact us to some degree. At this point, we don't know yet. It's all going to be speculation, but we can kind of put some, conclusions and some predictions together. And at the end of the day, I'm not sure about you, but I want to know what this is going to mean for us going forward. So, by the way, for those of you that are wondering, no, nobody is cutting your Social Security, okay? It does not matter who the person is. Whoever becomes president, whatever happens with Congress, nobody is going to cut Social Security, okay? Please do not worry about that. I know we've been seeing that come up a lot lately and a lot of finger pointing. It's not happening. Nobody's cutting Social Security. However, I can say this much. If they don't do anything, then guess what? Then Social Security will be cut. Inaction is cutting benefits. Anyway, I'm here for you. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends on social media, and go back and check out any of the other thousands of videos here on the channel, including those in the video library or the ones that I've hand-selected for you down below in the description or at the top of the comment section, and the ones you see on your screen now. Enjoy your day. Take care. Have a good one, and I'll catch you again later in the